Hi everyone, this is just Maria Almanzar speaking. I hope that everybody's doing good. Today is Sunday and today is the 23rd and it's 6:36 p.m. Las Vegas time. I know I'm wearing a sweater. Not feeling too great. I came on here. I know that I'm doing a live right now, but I came on here to specifically talk about trying to be a pleaser. Okay? All right. So here it goes. We all, one way or another, want to please a person that we care about, or we just want to please people just because we want to be liked. There is a problem with that. While you're doing all that pleasing, that person may be taking advantage of you, or that person may see you as a very weak person. And so we got to change. Sometimes we got to change our habits. Sometimes being too pleasing is not good. And so we got to change our ways of being. Like I have this thing about, you know, I like pleasing people up to a certain extent. If I know that, I'm pleasing you and not in a sexual way, but just in general, like if I have a friend and I really care about you a lot, and I mean really care about you, I try to make it a point to try to please you because you're my friend and and if I know that you are somehow struggling or somehow, you need support or, I make a friendship and I just want you to, to see that side of me that I can be, someone who will go out of my way to try to please that person and try to make them feel good if they're feeling bad or down. So, but many of us, we go to the extent where we try to help people, we try to go to the extent of trying to please too much, and then it becomes a point where the other person starts using you. I've had this in my past, and unfortunately, sometimes, being too pleasing sometimes winds up being your worst enemy. So try always to keep in mind that when you're in a relationship, whether a friendship or whether in a relationship or whether in a partnership, always try to compliment each other and always try to please each other. Because in the long run, you don't want to be pleasing too much of someone and then you wind up being in the back burner and winding up looking stupid or winding up looking like, okay, you pleased me, or you were trying to be too pleasing and I never asked for it. So that in general comes to be like ungratefulness. You know, I um I really want to say that I don't want to get into a relationship. I like it's so hard. Like I've always said it, like, when I start out in a relationship or whether in a friendship or whatever it is, it always winds up that I always have the short end of the stick no matter what. And so it's better to just like for me, in my in my thinking and in my way, because I've always had such bad luck with relationships and just bad luck in general with people who I've gotten close to, and just not people wanting to be so genuine, like probably I want to be so genuine. And then, there's some people that are not like that. There are people who, by the experiences that you've had in the past or the experience that you are currently going through right now, makes you see, like, as you get older, you see and you notice like things like, hi, whoever's tuning in, hi, I hope that you're doing good. Hi, happy Sunday to you. Glad that you're tuning in, or even if you're just peeking through, thank you. Like if you've been through relationships like I have, okay, like my relationships with people or boyfriends that I've had, um and I say this like boyfriends, like I'm the kind of person that I like, um I like having long, stable relationships where it's like for 3 years, 5 years, like that. I like having long relationships. I don't like having short-term relationships. I don't like sleeping around. When I'm in a relationship with somebody, I like supporting my friends and I like supporting whatever they do and whatever they want to accomplish in life. But what I don't support is somebody being used. Like if you are my friend and you know that I have this thing about supporting you or have supported you and then you come out and like it doesn't really matter to you and you are ungrateful and I don't expect anything. Really, when I do something, I never expect anything to ever anyone give me anything in return but respect. Like if I give you respect, give it back to me. And if you can't give me the respect, then just don't, just, just don't disrespect me. But, like I've always had trouble. I've always had trouble with people trying to be very, very real with me, like genuine, like I recently had like, okay, I'm going to say it's going to be like, well, before I had another relationship, before that one, it was with another person that I had a relationship with, and he couldn't stop smoking. Okay, but he lied about it, and so like those kinds of things. Like if you come up and and I'm being really nice and real with you, like I want that in return. Like I don't ask anything. I don't ask of money, and I don't ask of something that you cannot give me or don't want to give me. I never force a person to be in a relationship with me. I never ever force a person to be friends with me. I never ever, and I can say that literally, like I can actually say never because I don't do it. So I never force a person to be with me. I never force a person to do something that they do not want to do. And if you ever feel like you want to get out of a relationship with me, you don't need to lie. Because I've always stated that and I've always said it. Never, ever lie. Because when you lie, you have to cover up for that lie that you lied to me about. And so when I find out, regardless of how I found out, it's going to upset me. It's going to upset me to the point where I will not trust you again. Because I've been honest with you. And so then you come around and you're going to be dishonest with me. No. And I'm not even perfect. I'm not a perfect person. I am not perfect. I'm not saying to you that I haven't lied in my life. You know what? I learned from it. Because I used to be that person where I used to cry wolf and no one believed me. And I was in a really bad situation. And that was in the 90s. And I cried wolf and no one believed me. And I took that as a lesson. I said, Maria, always be honest, no matter how big or how small it is. Always be honest. Because honesty, regardless if you get into trouble, at least you said the truth. At least you said, well, look, I have nothing to feel bad about. I have nothing to apologize for because I was honest with you. But when you come out and you are dishonest with me and you don't say the truth, and find out, regardless if it's through the social media or regardless if it's from word of mouth. Now, I usually don't go by word of mouth because you never know if that person who's talking bad about you or saying something about you might be lying. So then I never ever go by, oh look, did you hear what that person said? No. I don't go and I don't talk about another person, or I don't listen to what that person has said unless it's verified from the horse's mouth. if it's not verified from the horse's mouth, then I am not going to, like sit there and listen to you because it didn't come from the horse's mouth. It didn't come from the person that I actually wanted to hear it from. But if I catch you, if you lie to me, like if you stay in online, like let's say if you say it on social media and I catch you in the lie, then why would you want to come and explain to me why you lied when you already lied? When I already caught you in the lie, so you're going to try to explain yourself about that lie. Just say, look, sorry that you had to find out this way. That's the way it had to be because maybe I didn't hurt you. Or maybe because I just didn't feel like telling you. Or maybe because, you were really not my friend. You really are not my friend, so I really don't give a fuck whether you found out or not because I really don't give a shit. Like you're gonna meet people like that. They're just gonna use you just to use you, and they don't give a shit whether you find out whether on social media or you find through Facebook or whether you find out wherever you find that person is not gonna give a shit because that person is gonna say, well, I was dying for you to know anyway, and I was gonna tell you anyways, but you know what? Guess what? Fuck you. You know what? Like that. That attitude, some people like a fuck you to like add shit. If you found out, I really don't care because you really didn't anything to me. And that freaking hurts. Like somebody says to you or somebody doesn't really care and they're not really responsive to your reaction or then, like they respond to how you feel. Because you can have someone who says to you, I love you, I care about you, and then their actions are totally different from what they said to you. That's why I don't like people saying to me that they love me because normally I don't use that word. I really, really try to steer away from the word I love you, anyone, unless I know you really well. Like I gotta know you really, really well in order for me to say I love you because guess what? I'm not that kind of a person that goes around saying I love you to everyone. And I do love people, but I normally don't say it because it's better off not to say it. It's just like, I don't know. Regarding in relationships, whether it's friends or whether it's your boyfriend or whether it's your girlfriend or whether, like that regarding in those terms, like, yeah, like I think that it's hard for anyone to express love and then express them by actions. Like, okay, like I was talking about, yeah, but if you love me, you wouldn't have lied. If you love me, you wouldn't have thought of. There are a lot of things when people say, I love you, because they can say, oh, well, I love you, and not really, I love you. It's like, love you and I love you are two different things. You know what I mean? So it's very hard, it's very, relationships for me specifically very hard because I know already like in the when I go through relationship when I start meeting my first reaction is and I don't even know why I'm like that but it just turns out to be like that because maybe I come into the relationship being really like overthinking too much and overthinking about the things that happened to me in the past. And so I try to, I'm trying to not bring that into the current relationships that I have right now. So what I do right now is that I try to sit back and observe how people act towards me. If I see like certain people act differently towards me, like they weren't like that in the beginning, and now all of a sudden they have a change of the way they act towards me, then I take that as a sign that look, Maria, maybe it's not what you thought. Like I like this, I liked this person, and this person was like I really to me that person showed me like you don't give a damn like I didn't matter to that person enough for the person to be straightforward with me and tell me the truth. So when you really say that I love you to a person, mean that, but mean it, and also by actions, do it. Because sometimes the actions speak more louder than words. What's wrong, Kobe? Huh? So sometimes that is, the fact that, and it's unfortunate that we go through, especially women, that it's all lovey-dovey at first, and then, you really want to be friends with that person, and then that person turns on you for some reason. They really are not in the same page as you are. And unfortunately, it happens, and it really is sad because most women who are so trusting, like they want to trust, and those who are trusting usually are the ones that really get burned really easily. And so I take it as a sign that, trying to always have an open heart and an open mind, but also try to protect yourself while doing it, and try to always look at those red flags so that it doesn't occur again. But me personally, like, I wanted to come online and that, if you're experiencing that, having, like I have a lot of, and it's really has, now I take it, it's not like I have a self-esteem issues. Like before, when I had a relationship, I really thought that it had to do with self-esteem. And it's not that. It's not self-esteem. Nothing to do unless you come in a relationship where your self-esteem is already low, on a low, and you really don't want to open up to that person or persons that are in your life, which makes it difficult because you have a low self-esteem, and you feel like you're not good enough. But as you get older, yeah, sure, you like, most people will like, how would I say, most people will look at you and say, oh, well, she doesn't look like this, and she doesn't look like what I want. Or maybe it's the opposite that you are saying to yourself. Like, I had that guy, excuse me, I had that guy, and really nice guy, works and everything. I mean, he was a really nice guy, and all he had was that, that, okay, he was smoking. And this was way before YouTube, and, like, that was like way before I did this. And he was smoking and stuff like that. And, he working guy, really nice. But however, he was saying, yeah, and it's hard to smoke. I used to be a smoker, and I gave up smoking. So I know how hard it is to stop smoking. But when you really care about a person, at least you'll find some creative ways to stop smoking or not smoke around that person. At least have the decency not to do it, or don't lie about it. Just say, look, it's hard for me to stop smoking, but I'm going to try in other ways to try not to smoke around you. So when you really care about a person, and you really are into that person, and you genuinely care about that person, and you want to make it work, they'll not stop you. Nothing, absolutely nothing will stop you, because you're going to say to yourself, I want this to work. I want this person to feel happy around me, and I want. But when you don't want to make it work, and you really don't care about that person, and that person is not really like, I heard through he's a really good like advisor. Okay, he's a speaker and advisor, and his name is Jay, okay. He's on Facebook and says it, and this is very, that a lot of speakers, a lot of motivational speaker, inspirational speakers who speak on relationships, if a guy isn't calling you, he's not interested. If a guy doesn't say to you, look, hi, how are you, every morning, he's not talking to you. He's not freaking messaging you. He's like, out of his way to really find out how you are, how you're feeling, or, how you're doing, and if he doesn't support what you are going through, or he doesn't support you, um, what you have, or not support you in any kind of way. And he's not calling you. He's not saying how you doing. He's not acknowledging even your fucking existence. Then why are you even trying to be with that person? Because he's not acknowledging you as a woman. He's not acknowledging you, not even as a person. So when there's things that you notice in a person when they really care about you, they really go out of their way. They go out of their way to really make it work. But when that person doesn't care about you, and that person does not want to be in love with you, they don't give a shit. It's like literally give a damn about you. They're like, okay, well, who cares if she finds out? Who cares if she, if she found out through here and there, or whoever she found out? Because I really don't care. I care. Like if I really like a person and I really, really treasure this and I appreciate that person, I try to take the time to acknowledge that person and support what they, what's going on in their life and what they want to accomplish and how they want to accomplish it. Well, man, I'm with you 100%. But if that boat isn't rowing, I've always said that if you have a person that's not rowing a boat and is not paddling for you, then I suggest you don't do it for them. Because sometimes it becomes like you're just rowing the boat and they're like, okay, she's rowing the boat, but I'm really not into rowing the boat with her. And I'm really not, and it has to do with alignment. Like you have to be aligned with that person. Sometimes that person is not aligned with you. They are like, okay, I need a specific person. And so they're just like, I've always felt like when a person says you, like, I need that type of person. Okay. All right. You need that certain type of person. Sometimes if you really want that type of person, then don't let that other person be hanging. Don't get involved with that other person because you are waiting for another person or want to find out if that other person is fit for you. Just don't get involved with that other person that you are not really into. And whether, regardless if you wanted that person for sex, or regardless if you wanted that person to help you out in any kind of way, whether business or whatever kind of way, what should be is that you should involve that other person for your decision making. Because while you're deciding, let's not forget that the stupid one who's waiting for you and thinking that, okay, he'll come around or she'll come around or whatever, really is like, okay, you weren't really my choice. You were just an option. And I just wanted to have you on the side to see if that other person was fit for me. And that's what I find wrong. Like if, true, you shouldn't let that person use you. You never let a person use you. Because, okay, it's okay. Like one time, if a person does something to you and they do it to you, one time and it's okay, you let it go. Then, the second time, it's like, okay, I'll give them a second try to see. But then you fuck up the third time. That's not good. Like if you really fuck up and use, and then you have the nerve to lie in front of that person and you know that person knows, and then you come out saying that no, or you try to make up some other excuse. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. And you shouldn't do that. You should really be honest with that person and just be upfront with the person. Just say, look, and from the beginning, I mean, even if in the beginning everything was okay, and maybe that person was for you in the beginning, or maybe they weren't for you in the beginning, but and you just kept on, and you finally, you met this person and you really like that person, but yet you lead the other one on. That's not right. You understand? That's not right. Again, for the person who's saying, the person here who's, hi, how are you? I hope that you're doing good. I don't know if you're saying hi back, but hi anyway. Regardless, you should always try to be honest with that person. Always try to be honest, because the thing is that if you're not honest, you are the only one who is messing up. Because how many lies did you tell that person when you were with that person? And then that person that was with you believed you. They literally believed what you were saying. And it's like I said, if you do something wrong and you know you did something wrong, one, you could either apologize instead and own up to what you did, or two, just leave that person alone, because that person can find somebody. Like for me, I don't think I want to find somebody. I don't think I want to get into a relationship. I don't think I want to do that, because I've been through that. Like, oh God, like, how many times do I have to trust a person in order for me to really believe in that person? Hi, how are you? Hi. Hi, Susan. I hope you're doing good. I'm glad that you're here tuning in. I'm talking about relationships, and I'm just talking about me personally. Like, okay, like, do I really want to get into another relate? And that's the thing, that when you get, yeah, hi, yeah, like when you get into a relationship, okay, like if you get into a relationship and then that person says, well, trust me, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to do anything to you. And I really mean that. Okay, so then you find out that that person isn't really the person that you thought the person was. And then all of a sudden, it becomes like, okay, what other lie have you told me that I don't know about? And so then that's what happens. Like, then now I have to go and be in another relationship in a couple of years or in a couple of months, okay, and then start over again. And then I go in with the same mentality. I've always had bad relationships too. And like I'm ready to give up, because like I have to go back again and trust again and open my heart again to a different person that's probably going to tell me the same. And when they tell me that, trust me, open your heart, don't think that I'm the same as that other person that was in your life, it comes out to be like, oh shit, they're saying the same thing again. And now, do I really want to trust that person? Do I really want to open my heart to that person so that again, I could be bit in the ass again by the very same thing that the other person who I was in a relationship with, and it becomes a continuous, and sometimes, like, okay, you listen to these people who tell you, be you, love you, but you love you, enough to leave that person who's lied to you, who hasn't been really honest with you, who hasn't really, been in the same page as you. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't love yourself. It's just that you have opened your heart and you have trust so much that then you have to, okay, I'll finish this relationship and love me again. Doesn't mean that. And that's where there's some things that people say, and they say, oh, well, you didn't love yourself enough to leave that relationship. It's not true. You do love yourself enough to leave that. Yeah. Like, yeah, the last one was a very abusive one. Now I don't want to, no more relationships. I don't have the energy. Yeah, I don't have the energy anymore either, because the last relationship that I had, which was for 16 years, was bad. And I really had to take the time to really love myself to get to this point where I am right now. And so then I opened myself again to another relationship that I thought could probably be or become a relationship. And the person said, well, oh no, I won't hurt you. Yeah, I won't hurt you. I won't do what that other person has done to you. Or I don't mean, yeah, I don't mean, like, I don't mean to hurt you. You know, like if you feel like you're in doubt, then why be in the relationship? Okay, it's not that you are in doubt, is that you always hear the same things over and over and over and over again. And then when you open your heart and you open your you know your walls and you let them down, then that's where everything starts to just get complicated. And so now they lie to you. Like I was saying before, you know, if you have somebody like, you have somebody in your life, okay, and that person is with you, and then you believe that person, but then that person isn't calling you, that person isn't really, you know, really hard to find. Yeah, it's really hard to find a good person in your life, one that's not going to betray you, you know, and they're not calling you, they're not texting you, they don't really take the time to really find out how you are. Then, I have it in a clear mind that you don't really care about me. And then you start looking for me in a month or so, that's a problem. Because, okay, like you're saying to yourself, okay, we didn't take things too seriously. But then I'm saying to myself, well, okay, well, why are you looking for me? If you're not calling me, you're not really supporting what I'm doing, or you're not really taking the time to tell me, look, how are you doing? How are you feeling? It only takes a phone call away. It's not going to make your fingers fall just because you call a person, you care about a person. If you really care about a person, you really are into that person, you really support what they do. And then another thing too, and this is what I don't understand. Okay, so they're not supporting you, they're not really calling you, but then they go out of their way to support a person who's not even freaking supporting you and what you are all about. But then you see them supporting that person, and you're like, okay, like, wow, really? Yeah, I find that I'm happy by myself too. Like, okay, like this is what I want. Like, okay, don't bother me. Yeah, don't bother me. Don't look for me if you are not supporting the way I am. If you don't love me, you don't care for me, and you don't give a shit that I even take the time to, like go, yeah, like, I'm rooting for you, like, yeah. But if I'm not really your type and I'm not really, like the kind of person that you're looking for, leave me alone. Why are you looking for me? Like, why are you even saying hi to me? Like, like, why are you there? Because are you there because, I'm a fast booty call? I mean, I'm truthful, I'm honest. I'm not going to be lying here and talking bullshit. And this is what my social media is about. It's not about, my social media is not about, trying to cover up the person that I am. If I'm on social media and I am going through an experience and you're going through that very same experience, well, I'm going to talk about my experience regardless if you like it or not, because I'm going through it. So why shouldn't I speak on it? Because probably that other person may have an insight of why this keeps occurring to women, not only like I, but to other women who are going through it. You know what I mean? And so isn't that unfair that you are supporting that other person, and yet you're not supporting and you're not really rooting for that person? You're just doing it to benefit you, but yet you're not honest enough to say that. And so then if you're not honest enough, then why are you even around me? If you don't like me and if you don't want nothing to do with me, and you're and I'm not really your type, then why are you with me? Yeah, I've always been, yeah. I do this. I stopped doing that. I did that with my ex for 16 years. I cleaned. I washed his clothes. I cooked for, I know how to do everything. But guess what? Guess what, Susan? That wasn't enough. Because guess what? While I was doing that, he was freaking looking out at other girls and right in front of my face too. And I'm talking about the one for 16 years. He would do that. Like and we lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and he would say right in front of my, oh, I really like that girl. She's really hot. She's really this. And shit, like you have this woman, and I don't consider myself a bad looking woman. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, oh, damn, Maria, you're ugly. Oh yeah, I may have a few gray hairs, and I'm proud of my gray hairs. Shit, I'm proud of the way that I've developed and evolved as a person and as a human being. But if you're not proud to be around me, and you're not like, okay, she's not the person that I wanna be around with and hold my hands with, or wrap my arms around her, well, shit, leave me alone. Because you know what? I can 16 years is a long time. Yeah. Yeah, that was very disrespectful, and he would do that. And mind you, I knew her name and I knew her age, and he would tell me she was a Native American. Okay? And so, look, if I'm not good enough for you, then I'll never be good enough for you. If I'm not good enough for you now, that I supported and I was behind your back, then I'll never will be, regardless if we were friends or not. I'll never be what you want, because she definitely did. And I'm not the kind of woman that goes around saying, you're a bitch and you stay out of my guys, and this, how there's some girls that really are bitchy. I'm not like that. Yeah. And she knew me. And one time we were at the casino, and in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and she came up to, and she literally said like this to him. She said, and she was flirting with him. And so I saw this, and she said, do you know what time is it? Now, okay, she had a watch on her. She had a watch on her. I'm talking about a wrist watch. She comes up to my man, and she says, oh, do you know what time is it? And he voluntarily says to her, yes, this and this time. But see, I'm looking at both of them like they think that she's stupid. This woman, and I've known, like Susan, like you have people that say to you, oh no, like I would never disrespect you, and I wouldn't do that, or that's a lie. Because the most minimal thing that you do and you think that person is not noticing and not aware of, guess what? Yeah, she went just like that, and I was like, okay, like what just happened here? And I told him, I approached him, not in front of her, but I did approach him, and I said, do you think that I'm that stupid that I didn't know and didn't see that she had a watch in her wrist? Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, you don't know what I'm talking about? Do you want me to show you that she has a wrist in her hand? And he's like, well, she probably wanted to know because she was probably too busy. I go, really? Really? Okay. It's like those kind of things that people think that you're stupid and that you don't notice, and that they think, I'm sorry to use this word, but it's really, I'm going to say it because that's the way people think. I had this one time, a person say that to me. They say, are you retarded? And yeah, like I have had people literally like use me because they think that she's stupid. Well, she was too busy because she used to work in the casino. She worked at a casino. And so when we were in there, we were playing bingo, and she happened to be on that area. She was one of those people who would give out the bingo chips. And so wherever they put her, that's where she would be. And so she happened to be there, and she was giving out bingo cards and bingo chips. And so it's okay, but don't be stupid about it. Don't be stupid where I'm going to know that you're messing around. Because the minute that she said that, I looked at them both. And I said, does she really think I'm that stupid that I didn't notice that she had a watch, a watch band on her, or a watch on her? Come on, really? Like, okay, you really took me for that much of a stupid. And so that's what I'm saying. Some people will just take you as an idiot because they say to themselves, well, she's so stupid She looks stupid. She probably is stupid, and she will not notice because she's that stupid and that asleep that that she won't notice. Yeah. Yeah, she had to ask. She couldn't look at her own watch and find out for herself that what time was it. No, she couldn't do that. She had to ask him. And meanwhile, while they were both flirting and looking at each other and doing googly eyes, I noticed that too. Isn't that pitiful? Like, okay, here's the man that I lived with for 16 years, doesn't have the audacity to at least respect me and say, well, she's with me and I should respect her at least because I've been with her for 16 years. But some men, no, they won't do that because they feel like you're stupid enough that you won't notice little things that they do. I'm telling you, I've had so many things done to me, girl, that if I tell you, I can write a whole book on it. But yeah, like, like some things like that, that really bother, not that it bothers me so much that I'm going to sit here in a corner and cry about it, but it bothers me because if you are rooting for somebody, you are with that person and you really care about that person, regardless if it's a friend. If you're trying to make friendship with whether it's a guy or a girl, okay? And you're rooting for them and you're really, like you want to be with them and support them in anything that, that has to do with them, then you come out doing some other stupid shit. And yeah, that's why yeah, I'm smart about it too. Like I'm more woke than I was before. Like before, that happened to me, I actually cried. And if that would have happened to me today, since now I have the ability and the knowledge and the wisdom now to really control myself, my emotions is what I'm trying to say. I was young back then and I didn't know better. And like when you care about somebody, your emotions overtake you. But as you get older and you start realizing what's really important, you know what I mean? And so now I really don't want to have a relationship. I don't want to go through that because I say to myself, if that last relationship was even bad and I get into another one and that didn't work out, so then I have to keep on opening my heart to every little, I'm going to be a little bit crude here, to every dick that passes by, then it's gonna be a problem because I'm putting all my energy into a relationship or to a friendship, then it's never going to work out, And so I feel in me personally that if you really care about me, you would call me. If you really, and this has nothing to do with double standards. If you really love me, call me. Yeah, especially if you love somebody, your emotions get the best of you, and it really does. Call me, text me. It's not hard to do. But then, when I have to say to you, call me or text me or, I don't want to have to do that. Because if you're my friend or if you're my boyfriend or if you're a lover or whatever it may be, if I'm worthy, if I'm worthy as somebody who you really care about and value, I shouldn't have to tell you. I shouldn't have to tell you, call me. Okay, I'm not talking about girlfriends. Okay, I'm not talking about girls because my girlfriends, I'll call them. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about men. I'm talking about men. If you really care about that person, yeah, I do. I get lonely. But you know what? You know what, Susan? I'd rather be lonely. I'd rather be lonely than a person. I'd rather be lonely than with a person who doesn't care about me. Because then I'm going to feel more alone. Like, what's the use of you having somebody who also is embarrassed to be around you, doesn't appreciate you, doesn't love you, doesn't care about you? Well, what's the use of that? Hola, ¿cómo está, Rodolfo? I'll call you and text you. Rodolfo, I'm not talking about you. Okay, I'm talking about somebody else. But that's the truth. Like, if you really care about somebody and you really, like, I shouldn't have to tell you that shit. You're a man. You're a man. And if you really are digging that woman, And sure, you'll do it for another person. You'll do it for another person, but you won't do it for me. Okay, well, what does that say to you? It says that they don't care about you. Oh, I'd rather be lonely to have a man that doesn't appreciate you. Because they're not appreciating you as a person. They're not appreciating you and valuing you as a woman. And so why are if you are with another woman that you really, really are into, you really dig her and you really want to be with that woman and you really, really think that that woman is the fit for you, go right ahead. I support you. I'm with you 100%. But don't come to me and turn around and come to me and then wanting to be with me and then with that other person, because that's wrong. And then making an excuse that no, you weren't with that person before they met you. And if you say it, that you have been with that person for like say a year, okay? But you have been with me, then you're messed up, dude. Then you don't really, stay with the person that you always remember this, Susan. When a man cheats on you and he cheats on you with that woman, that man should stay with that woman that he cheated you with. Because that only means that he didn't love you. I'm sure there are a lot of good men out there. And those are the men who are with the bitches. Those are the men that are with the bitches. Because a man does not like a good, wholesome woman. I don't care what any man tells me. No man that I've so far have met, okay, likes a wholesome woman. I don't care what you tell me. You know what? I have always seen a man who's a good man. I started to say, yeah, it's true. A good man, and he's with a bitch, and he'll treat her like that. He'll treat her like this. Oh my God, he'll carry her to the moon and back. Yeah, but all of you men say that, like not all men are the same. That's not true. That's not true. And I've noticed this because men like bitches. If a man can find a good man, I'm talking about a good man, loves bitches. Or something about that woman that, like she has a feisty side. Yeah, of course. You can be back whenever you want, Susan. Don't worry about it. If she's a woman that's really bitchy, or he likes something about her that's, like feisty and shit like that, he's for her. But if it's a good ass woman, and she's with you 100%, and you're okay, man, I'm with you, and I'm riding, and I'll die with you, and this and that. Oh, hell, that man will say, oh, shit, I don't want that. I don't want that kind of a woman because she's not challenging enough, or she's just too good, or she's just too nice. Men are not for nice women. They're not. And sometimes men would rather have a bitch because they say, if I have a nice one, I don't know, who she really is. And some nice woman will actually, will turn on you. Man, I'm a nice woman, and I'm all that opposite. Like, I can be a bitch, but I choose not to be a bitch because I'd rather be a nice bitch. I can be a bitch, but I'm a nice bitch. And, men are not for that. Good men have bitches. Okay? Then they like it that way. They like a woman who's a bitch. And I'm talking about a real bitch. I'm not talking about a woman that, that's tries to pretend to be a bitch. Okay? Because there's a difference. There are women who are actual bitches, and men actually like that. And then there are women who pretend to be bitches, and they're not really bitches. Okay? And what do I mean by a bitch? A woman who has an attitude that she won't take shit from a man. Okay, you do me wrong, and I'll kick your fucking ass. Like that kind of bitch. And I'll do you wrong if you do me wrong. that kind of bitch. Like, and she's not with you, like, and she will not ride with you, that kind of bitch, you know? But men like that, you know, men really go for that kind of woman, you know, like, okay, you know, I really have to go, you know, like some men really like that, you know, and they'll really go after that woman because of the way that she is. You know, she has a certain kind of something that that man likes. And, you know, and then there's some that he's not really willing to ride with. But like I said before, and I hold to my word, like if you, you know, like if you have a friend and she's, or, you know, you're not, if you don't really, and like I've always said this too, if you're not wanting a relationship with that person, okay, then don't offer anything. Don't ever offer anything to a woman that you don't want to have anything with. Don't ever leave high hopes to a woman that you know you're not going to be with her. And also, don't ever be with a woman who you are just going to booty call. Because, okay, you want a booty call with her, but she's not good enough for you to be with her. And most men are like that. Like, okay, she, you know, she's a good woman, and you know that she's a good woman because she's not with another man, and she's loyal to you, which is very important, by the way, in a relationship, is loyalty. And if that man sees that, he'll actually take advantage of that because he says to himself, I know that she's loyal and she will not find anyone else because she's with me, and I know that she cares about me that much that she won't be disloyal to me, which is true. But then again, you're taking advantage of the fact that she's loyal to you. And so you'd rather do that than just say, look, you're not my type, and I don't want or will not ever have anything with you. So let her go, because it's the most natural thing. If you really care about that person, you'll just let go of that person, and you will not, you will not look bad in front of that person because you already have said the truth. So don't try to make shit complicated by making complications for yourself. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, man, like people should be really honest. Like if you're going to be in a relationship or in a friendship and you know that that friendship is not going to lead to anything else other than just friendship, well, just say that. Look, I'm not going to want anything with you other than just friendship, and this will not lead to anything else, instead of feeling sorry for that person, because obviously you're feeling sorry for that person because you don't want anything with that person, but neither do you want to hurt that person. And that's very unfair. It's not very nice. It's unfair. No, but it's nothing that you already not have heard. It's nothing that you already have not heard. If you are friends with a woman and you know for a fact that you're not going to have anything with her, well, then be honest, because that woman will appreciate the fact that you're honest with her, and she'll move on. She can move on without you. The same way that you met her without a man and she takes care of herself and she can do shit for herself, then leave her. You can leave her and you can say, look, I only want friendship with you. I don't want anything else because I'm looking for this certain kind of woman. Not tell her like 6 months or 7 months later and then she having to find out that you're with another one while you were with her. And then have the nerve to say, oh, well, you know what? That really didn't happen. And it's not that way. Which is, you know it's a lie. You know it's a lie. You know it's a lie. So why are you going to say, oh, no, you know, that's not true. You know, just leave the woman alone, because the way you found her, man, I didn't come up to anyone and say, well, look, I want to have a relationship with you. Why? Because I really wasn't looking for no freaking relationship. You know what I mean? I wasn't really looking for no relationship. I was looking more into the we can become friends, and then if something comes of it, then we can go further. But if you're not really going further with this person and you really are not into that person and that person is not your type, it's just like, okay, this person doesn't ignite my fire, that person does not ignite my fire enough for me to have a relationship with her, then leave her. Why are you going to continue? You could be friends, but then how bad does that look? That you are friends with that person who already you are having a close connection with, okay? Let's just say it like that. Why? Why? Because, okay, I want a woman, but yet I want the booty. That's not right. You know, like I advise any woman who's a booty call, don't be a booty call to any man. You deserve better than that, because no man is worth you taking your dignity away. No man is worth that. No man is worth you lowering your self dignity, your self pride, okay, or your self value for a man who just wants to just lay around with you, hang around with you. Get the fuck out of here, man. I want a real man who I can express myself to him, that I can really love, that I can care about. And I'm not even looking for money. Like, okay, the same way you met me, I took care of myself. I was taking care of myself. I don't need a man to take care of me. I can take care of myself. Because the same way you found me, you can leave me too. The same way you found me as an independent woman, I will always be that same woman who's independent and will not need of a man. I'm not saying that I don't need a man on an emotional level. Like, what woman doesn't want a boyfriend who will acknowledge her, love her, will treat her right, will, pamper her once in a while? It's just something that shit like that just comes natural. You shouldn't have to ask a man, call me. You shouldn't have to ask a man to take care of you. You shouldn't have to ask a man, I want to go out. You shouldn't have to ask a man, look, what else? Let's go out. No, because that comes natural when a man is into you and he truly cares about you. Those things come natural. You shouldn't have to ever, ever, ever beg, like I said in my Facebook page. You should never have to cry for a man, beg to a man, or be waiting for a man. Ever. You should never, ever have to do that. Because a man will not do that for you. He's not going to wait for you. Yeah, like my ex of 16 years, he would never work. And he wanted me to work. And then yet he was, when I left my job and I came here, he was saying, you got to find a job right away. And I said, well, no, excuse me, I can find a job. How do you think I got the crossing guard job? Is because I worked as a CNA, as a CNA in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The only reason, I'm not working as a CNA now is because I needed to be, first of all, a Nevada resident. And then second, I had to do everything all over again. And I was also a licensed CPR. So anyone that comes and bullshits me about that, oh, Maria, you need to work. I've worked. Even in Albuquerque, New Mexico, that I lived for 7 years, I worked. And I worked here also for 6 years. I worked here as a school crossing guard. So any man that comes at me and tells me, well, how come you're not working? Well, I'm not working because I'm actually sick. Okay? I'm not working because I am literally sick. So I don't need to be telling a man also work. And I don't need a man to be telling me to work, because I know my responsibility. I know how to take care of myself. I know how to take care of an apartment. I know all those things. All those things I know. I don't need any man to be telling me that. No, I don't need any kind of man to be telling me that. Like I said, you found me the way that you found me, like I was independent and I had my own apartment. Yeah, I was homeless, but doesn't indicate that just because you're homeless doesn't mean that you're less than the next person. Okay, like, and I don't want to have to fix myself for no man. If you love me, you have to love me for me, the way I look, with freaking gray hairs and, my wrinkles and shit and my sagginess and everything. No, I do. I take care of myself, but I take care of myself in a different way. Like, I don't want to go to a damn supermarket and having to look like to the nines. Most men like that and they don't mind that. But I'm not the kind of woman to be on the mirror and be like, only unless I'm going out. And I dress really low. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a really fancy dresser because I don't have it that way. Now, if I had the money, okay, I would dress like real nice because I also know how to dress. Okay, but I don't look sloppy. I'm not a sloppy person. A real man don't tell her to work. He's supposed to support her even if yeah, but most men, I don't mind a relationship that's 50-50. By the way, I do not mind a relationship that's 50-50. But you have to freaking work, you know? Yeah, and cook dinner for them. Get the hell out of here. I'm sexy the way I am. I don't need to be sexy. If you saw me and like, if you met me that way, like the way you see me now, I'm not going to change from that because that's the way I am. But if you don't like it, then you're happy to leave and look for something that's pleasing to you. But if I'm not pleasing to you, why are you with me? Like most men, they say, well, I want to bang that. I want to, how do they say? I want to tap that. Get the hell out of here. You go tap it to somebody else. I want a relationship. I don't want to be. Well, it's true. I only say the truth. And if people can't handle the truth, that's just too bad. People, yeah, like men don't be I need to tap that shit. Tapping it. Like when they say that, they say, well, I need to tap the pussy. That's what I guess YouTube didn't know what was saying. But it's true. It's true. Like, like, okay, that was nasty. Sex is not, yeah, well, sex is not everything, but guys, you say that. Like, sex is not everything, but once you are in a relationship with somebody and you say that, and then that woman, like, she opens herself to you, and then it really, once it starts happening, and then it happens that it becomes a routine thing that men, I've always said this, and this is very true, and my mother always said it, never give yourself in to a man unless he has something to offer you. And that's true. Most women are too quick to open their legs to men because men wouldn't do that for you. Like men always are saying, well, yeah, I need this specific woman in my life. I want this certain look. I want this certain type of woman. While women are not that, women are like, they already have it in their minds, like, I like that guy. And right away, without them thinking, unless you are already in your late 40s or 50s, you start realizing, yeah, I know I'm blurry because they probably do not want me to talk that way on YouTube about tapping pussy. But I say what I want on my page. But yeah, if I look blurry now. Probably do look blurry. I don't look blurry right now. Do I look blurry now? Okay, well, anyway, like I said before, like non-specifics when they are looking for a woman. But now it's when women are starting to awake. I'm still blurry? Oh, I'm sorry. Right about. Yeah, like are really specific about a specific topic. And if you don't look hype, like if you don't, a little. Okay, like now. All right, well, I don't see myself blurry, but to you guys, I'm blurry. Listen to what I have to say. Like I saw the blurriness now. Okay. Yeah, it's probably, you know what it is? It's probably my low, let me see the low one. Okay. No, I'm plugged in. But like if like men look at specific qualities in a woman, okay? Women don't look at specific qualities, but women are more are less, oh, I froze, it freeze, it froze, it froze. Oh, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm frozen now? Damn. Okay. What about now? Am I still frozen? Am I frozen now? I'm still frozen. And like men are, okay, just like if I'm frozen, just tell me. I didn't even, okay. Yeah, and she has to be fit, or she has to have long hair. Oh God. All right, so okay, so I'll be back. I won't forget about this. I will be back, okay? It's probably that I'm low on my thing. Okay, so anyway, just let me finish this and then I'll end it. Like certain specificities in women that they look for. So she's got to look a certain way. But women, on the other hand, they're starting to do that now. Because before, women were very like, okay, I really this guy, but they weren't very careful into looking into, how that man was. Sure, he was cute and he's fine looking, like we tend to look at that, but we don't go further to what and what we want. So we don't go to our checklist and we don't find the qualities that we really want. Okay, so I'll be back on that. Guys, I will not get you. I'll be back.